it live? Okay, let's see here. Let's see here, 1 second here, there we go. All right. Hello, drummers. Drummer Tim Connolly here today. Welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Doing a live stream where anything can happen. That's the excitement about live streaming. First of all, I want to thank my daughter for helping me out today. She is here with me today. She's not participating in the live stream. She likes to remain anonymous, but she helped me out today by turning the live stream on and getting the ball rolling here. So what I'm going to do today is a little bit different with some of my previous live streams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach, sort of divide the lesson today up into groups. So I'm going to teach group 1, so to speak, and then I'm going to see if there's any comments or questions that need to be answered on the computer over here. And then if there isn't, then I'll just carry on. If there is, I'll answer the questions or deal with the comments, whatever, and then go on to the second section. So we're going to do it sort of divided up. I'm not exactly sure how many sections there are yet. We'll wait and see. But basically, I'm using my Yamaha EAD system, and the microphone is right here, as you can hear with me tapping it, and I'm talking using that mic. And that's so that we can hear some great drum sounds, because I've got the Yamaha EAD set up with the drums, and it is going to sound fantastic, I hope. So if you're watching and when I actually do start doing some drumming, give me a thumbs up or a comment that the drums sound good, that I sound good talking, and that everything is good that way, okay? So let's get into today's lesson. What I have noticed as a drummer and experienced myself is, over years and years of teaching, is that a lot of drummers try to avoid the left foot, the hi-hat and the left foot. Now, for those left-handed drummers, it's the other way around. It's the hi-hat on the right foot. And what I've noticed is that they, rather than try and tackle getting your left foot together so that you can use it against the rest of the drum kit and against the rest of your limbs, they just avoid it. And you're missing out. You're truly missing out if you just skip out on the left foot, okay? Now, I'm not necessarily talking about open hi-hat, like for example, I'm not necessarily talking about that, because obviously you're opening your hi-hat, you're using your left foot. But what I'm talking about is more left foot independence against the rest of your body. So we're going to start off simple and build our way up a little bit with this, okay? So the first one we're going to do, to keep it simple, is we're going to play the hi-hat stepping. And when I say stepping, this is what I mean. Now there's various ways to step. I'm stepping so that the hi-hat sounds clean. I can also step like this. So now I've got a splashing sound. I can do combinations of chick and splash. That's the chick on the downbeat, splash on the upbeat. I can flip it. Splash on the upbeat, chick on the downbeat. So we've got multiple ways we're going to do it. We're going to start off simple with the chick on 2 and 4 and against a simple groove. We're going to try and keep things simple today, just so that all levels of drummers, or even non-drummers, even if you're thinking about starting drumming, you can tap into this, okay? So the groove we're going to play is this. eighth notes on the ride, bass drum on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4. We're going to then double. Drums sound great. Thank you very much, Diane Sheds. Diane's Heads. I'm not sure if I'm spelling or pronouncing that correctly. My apologies, but I'm great. Drums sound great. That's fantastic. Good news. Thank you very much. We're going to add the hi-hat 2 and 4 with that. Now, one thing that I used to do when I used to play in a Beatle tribute band was I had a tambourine, a small little tambourine that would sit on the hi-hat, and I would play the tambourine by stepping the hi-hat. Now, that's another thing that I want to mention is once you start to get your left foot together, you can use your left foot in a multi-pedal setup. So you could have a cowbell, you can have a jam block, you can have a hi-hat, you can, or sorry, not a hi-hat, a tambourine. You can have multiple setups that you switch from in your left foot, not just a double bass setup, right? You can have a multi-sound, bass, hi-hat, tambourine, jam block, cowbell, you name it, and anything really will go as long as you can do some kind of a setup with your feet, okay? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that 2 and 4 and I'm gonna play through a bunch of different types of grooves, but still keep that hi-hat on 2 and 4. I just realized I'm playing it on quarter notes, my mistake. Okay, so no matter what you're doing on your groove here, I was trying to keep the hi-hat on the 2 and 4 so that it's lining up with the snare hits, generally speaking, as long as the snare hits are on 2 and 4, right? And if you're wondering why I keep turning over here, it's because I'm using the talkback function when I'm talking, and then it's overwhelming loud in my earphones, so I have to keep turning it off. So I'm talking, and then I'm turning it off so that the drums aren't super loud, because right now I can hear my voice really, really loud in the headphones, which is fine. But once the drums start, it gets super loud, so I have to turn it off so that the drums aren't as loud. I can, of course, turn the volume down, but it's just easier to hit this button. The other thing that you're going to notice is a little bit unusual for me is I'm wearing Firth drum gloves. Now, I'm not pushing these gloves. I am endorsed by Firth, but I'm not actually pushing any of his gear in any of my videos. Firth is an excellent product. And again, I'm not getting paid to say that. I'm telling you from my experience of using Firth sticks and gloves and various other products. Firth has supplied me with a ton of posters and you name it. Anyways, I'm wearing these gloves because of the hand situation. For those of you that are unfamiliar with me or never tuned in, I recently had 3 hand surgeries, left hand surgeries. The bandage is off. The wounds are healed, but I'm still recovering from that surgery. My fingers still won't bend properly. As you can see, not giving anybody the bird here. I just can't move it any further than that. That is as far as it goes at this point. Now, with some hand therapy, I'm hoping to avoid a fourth surgery down the road and get this finger sorted out. But to protect where I had the surgery, because I had wounds here, here, and a huge gaping hole here, which is now finally sealed up, but I'm putting the gloves on just to help myself. So like I said, I'm not pushing these gloves, but I'm wearing them for my own protection. So, all right, now let's switch this to quarter notes. Now you notice that I played a few different grooves there, whatever, I'm just sort of making it up on the spot. But no matter what I did, I kept that hat steady with the quarter notes, okay? Let's throw a metronome on here. You won't be able to hear the click, but I'm gonna play a click here. So I'm at 90 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I'm playing that click, I'm playing quarter notes, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The hat is lining up with that click, okay? So just a little tip dealing with the click. I spend a lot of time, and I have spent a lot of time playing live and in the studio with the click. So I'm very comfortable playing with a click rather, at multiple different tempos. But one thing that I discovered is, as soon as I come off the hat and I go to cowbell, secondary hat, drum fill, ride cymbal, whatever, you name it, I needed something to state the time to the listener. What better than getting your hi-hat involved in the groove, all right? Let's change the tempo here a little bit. That was at 90. Let's go to 100. And let's involve that hi-hat. Oh, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So basically, no matter what I'm doing, sorry, I got to turn this click off. Doesn't want to cooperate. It does not want to turn off. There we go. Whatever I'm doing, I'm using this in conjunction with the click. Now, another tip for the click. Don't worry about all 4 beats lining up exactly. We're human beings. We are going to shift a little bit. What I try and do is I put beat 1, which is the most important beat, quite frankly, in the bar. I put beat 1 at a different sound so that it's either louder or a completely different sound. And I always try to come around each time and make sure that I'm catching that beat 1 on the hat, okay? All right, so that's quarter notes. Now, let's change the feel up a little bit. Let's change this to 16th notes. And we're going to play quarter notes on the hat. So. The hi-hat is playing on the 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2 and a 3 E 4 E and a 2 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, so you want to line that up so that it's not necessarily flamming, even though the odd little flam is no big deal. But you want to try and line the hat up with your bass and line it up with your snare as much as possible. Okay. Now, let's change up what we're doing on the hat a little bit. Let's go to some eighth notes. One and two and three and four and little John Bonham, right? So now, for me, I always loved playing eighth notes against the cowbell, the ride, whatever. Even a dueling hat situation like this. That's a lot of fun too. Now, obviously you've got similar sounds, which is fine. They're similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're similar. And then if you go to your ride cymbal and you do something like, if you do something like that, now you've got that sound, then you've got the one and, right? So you've got some interesting sounds that you're doing between your left foot and your ride cymbal, all right? Now, I was mentioning earlier about splashes. You can do them as quarter notes where you go. Now you got to be careful that you don't overwhelm the band and really splash those things really heavy, unless the music requires it. But that's pretty loud, so you want to reserve that for an appropriate time in the song. Okay. All right. So, any questions? Adrian, yes. My man Adrian, thank you very much for tuning in. We don't have any questions here. I've only got a few people watching, but I do appreciate. If anyone has any interest, I'm going to take this time, since there's no questions at this exact moment, just to promote my selfless promotion a little bit. I've got some merch here that I'm wearing, and my drum hat. I've got this logo, Tim Connolly Drums, and I've got some of these posters here, come in different colors. This is the Tim Connolly Drums in black, and then there's a bigger one in white, and let me just show you them all. And then this one in black with red. And then the last one, which is my actual YouTube channel logo page. Okay, so these are available. You just got to let me know if you're interested in picking one up. I've only got a few small ones though. but I have quite a few of the bigger ones. So if you're interested, if you want to buy a shirt, a hat, a t-shirt, just go to my merch shelf and you can pick it up. The posters are not available on the merch shelf. You'll have to contact me specifically to get those posters. But super cool and a lot of fun, and you'd be helping me out. So that would be really awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, now, Adrian wants to know, what do I have in the way of t-shirts? If you go on the merch shelf, I have t-shirts with this logo, and I have about 50 designs on there of all kinds of different things. You can get Tim Connolly drums, or you can get things that aren't specifically Tim Connolly drums, just ideas, logo things that I made up myself, and you can buy them in t-shirts. You just have to go to my merch shelf, which is a link to Spreadshirt, and then when you go on Spreadshirt, you just go to men's t-shirts, and they'll all be there. And there's, like I said, about 50 different designs, so you can pick one up there, pick your size, etc., etc. So I hope that answers your question, Adrian. All right, now let's get back to what we're doing here. Okay, so another part of playing the hi-hat, like I was saying, is the splashing. So I'm going to play a few examples of splashing the hi-hat in a groove, and we'll go from there. So basically what's happening is I'm doing quarter notes. The 1 and 3 is chick, the 2 and 4 is the splash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 1, 3, 1. You can of course flip that around and do the splashes on 1 and 3 and the chicks on 2 and 4. So there's a variety of different ways you can do that. Another thing that I like to do is 8th note, splashing. Now I apologize that I'm only shooting from one angle. You can't see my technique. However, I do have another video, a specific video on hi-hat and bass drum technique, which will allow you to do this basically. What I'm doing is toe, heel. I'm going like that. So it's like a Steve Gadd thing, right? And I'm doing it relaxed. It's very relaxed. I don't feel any tension. I feel really loose, and that's how I'm getting that effect. Okay, so that is how I get that to happen. Now you can do that. You can do this, and of course you can do splash chick, which I said earlier. 2 and 3 and 4, and all the downbeats are the splashes. Okay, so there's a variety of ways that you can get that sound. Now, here's the most important thing. Different sounds on the hat, awesome. I was inspired by a lot of jazz drummers that are wonderful at getting different sounds out of the hi-hat. I was inspired by the drummer from Supertramp, and Tommy Aldridge, believe it or not, Ozzy's drummer and Whitesnake's drummer, also inspired me by attending their drum clinics and master classes. And I noticed that, especially the drummer from Supertramp, which I can't remember his name off the top of my head, my apologies to him and to people watching that I can't remember his name, but just look up, you can Google the drummer for Supertramp. And he has such wonderful finesse technique. And this is a guy that I watched play and in a drum clinic, and then was talking to him in a master class, and discovered that my left foot sucked at the time, and I really wanted to get it together. So here is a quick exercise that he showed me. So basically, I just playing quarter notes here, bass and hi-hat playing quarter notes, and I did one bar of eighth notes, triplets, 16th note triplets, and 32nd notes, basically. Okay. So do it again. Quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, 16ths, 16th note triplets, 32nd notes. Now, you'll have to excuse my 32nd notes because I cannot use this finger to get the sticks going. So the fact that I can play any 32nd note right now is a miracle because I can't bend or use this finger. So I'm basically fulcrum and using my two back fingers. So I'm impressed that I can actually do that. Wow, I can't believe it. That shocks me. Okay, so that's an exercise that you can do to build up your facility with your left foot. Now let's do eighth notes. So, quarter notes, bass drum, eighth notes, hi-hat. So we went through that in same rhythm process all over again against. Now the other thing is, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're not used to using your left foot, your leg is going to get frickin' tired if you're not relaxed. So what do I do? First of all, I always keep my foot on the pedal. Don't do this. I know you can't really see my foot, but I'm going to exaggerate it so you can see. Do this. No, that is a no-no. Your hip flexor is going to give out. Plus, it's extremely tiring lifting your leg like that. Now, I am lifting my leg, but I'm doing it very subtly, relaxed, and loose. No matter what tempo I'm going. Okay, nice and relaxed. Okay, now, take a break again. Whew. Getting a nice workout in here. Short break and we'll move on to the next section. Let's check out comments here. Adrian says, sound good. Bob Seidenberg. That is Bob Seidenberg. Okay, thank you very much. Obviously, I got a guy. This is my info tech. He's looking up names for me. Thank you very much. That is a strong pinky. Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you why I have a strong pinky. Because if you check out my other technique videos, I never do this. This is an absolute no-no. You always want to make sure that when you're doing the throw, whether you're using the molar stroke, the Gladstone technique, the free stroke, whatever technique you're using, the pinky is not up like this because this creates tension. Tension it's a no-no. As Don Famularo would say, tension is the enemy of movement. Remember that. Tension is the enemy of movement. 100% correct. That's why I keep saying be loose. Check out my video on my own technique, which is the liquid effect, where everything is loose and flowing. I'm not going to get into that right now, but check out that video and you can learn a little bit about my own technique, the liquid effect. So when I'm playing, because my pinky is also engaging the stick, the old Joe Morello exercise, the pinky is engaging the stick too. So yes, you are right, Adrian. I do have a strong pinky because of engaging it while I'm playing. So right now, it's saving me, because without that pinky, the stick would be going all over the place. The stick is kind of going all over the place anyways, but it's because of this finger, not because of the pinky. So thank you very much. Okay, next section. We're going to talk about pushing while we're playing over here on the ride, auxiliary hat, cowbell, whatever. And we're going to do some pushes. So I'll show you what I mean by pushes. Started off playing quarter notes, right? Then I shifted into eighth notes. So this creates a whole new world of what you can do to get different sounds out of your hi-hat, okay? So let's try it a little slower. Eighth notes. So that's something that I really enjoy doing, is getting those eighth notes going and getting my left hand randomly or executing it in a specific place, like. So I'm playing it on the or the and of two, basically. So that's the that's happening there. Okay, so that's another thing that I love to do. Now, this last part is very tricky, and it's playing the upbeats on the hat. So I'll give you an example. Sorry. So what's happening is I'm going basically 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That is very tricky, and it's going to take a long time. One of the things that really helped me was a book called New Breed by Gary Chester. And one of the ostinatos is where the hi-hat is, in fact, you're playing on the ride cymbal. And then your left foot is catching all the ands. And of course, you can flip it around, and there's just endless amount of things that you can do. But I really love that feel. I love that feel of that pushing of the upbeat. Another way that I push the upbeat is when I'm playing something like so this is and 3 and 4 and downbeat with the tip, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 upbeat on the edge. But what I do is, I can obviously play it here, but then I can switch and do it over here too. So that way I'm recreating this almost. I mean, I could also go you know what I mean? So you could also do something like that. I don't often do that particular one. I prefer to play eighth notes against it. So I'm going 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay? And of course you can, I'm keeping the groove simple. You can play any groove against that. All right, let's see if we got any more comments now. No, we don't. So, if you have any questions, please contact me and let me know. Now I'm just going to play a little bit, have some fun, and I'll check back with my message board here if there's any questions or comments. But I'm just going to play a little bit and have some fun. thank everyone that joined me today. And please remember about the merch. Hopefully you can help me out a little bit. I'd really love to get some of this stuff out to people out there. And like I was saying earlier, the key to success is practicing your independence, taking it slow. Music school slow, meaning 60 BPM, 60 to 80. Everything I did in music school was 60 to 80 BPM. It was almost always slow. And then once you nail it, you build up your tempo from there, okay? Now, there's much more to this. I've only scratched the top tip of the iceberg, to be totally honest. There's a lot more to this. But if you can get started on getting that left foot engaged with what you're doing in the rest of your kit, you're in a much, much better place. The last thing I want to say, I forgot to mention, was practice your rudiments against it. So, paradiddle. So I'm doing paradiddle and 6-stroke rolls. Double paradiddle, triple paradiddle. Practice all your rudiments against it as well. Double strokes. Buzz rolls, whatever. Practice it all. But get that left foot going, all right? Thanks again for joining me. I look forward to feedback from the video. And as always, keep drumming. I'll see you again soon. Take care.